I am editing right now. This is going to be a 10-minute video, I think. Not much editing to do. It's basically just Adam and I talking. We're talking about WDI, wood destroying insects, termites, everything related to it. Texas Agricultural Commission, how they handle the license. Again, not super exciting content, but we get so many questions about how it all works, how it applies to a VA loan, and all those questions will be answered in this. If you have more questions, put them down below. But stay tuned for 10 minutes. You can fast forward, find some other places, but it is really good content. So if you're willing to watch, go ahead. I think you'll learn a lot. Hello. We are in my living room again, as most of these are shot. All these videos we're putting on YouTube lately. I'm with Adam. Adam is a certified WDI inspector. And we're going to talk today about what he does when you guys order a termite inspection, which is a WDI inspection. So when you guys call and you say I need termite inspection, it's actually WDI.
Yes.
So you are licensed you are licensed by TREC for your home inspections, but TREC, Texas Real Estate Commission, does not control the termite license.
No,
somebody else does.
No, yeah, Texas Department of Agriculture regulates all the certified applicator licenses in the state of Texas, and so basically it's a separate thing. A home inspector can call out possible, termite infestation, but they can't do a WDI report, which is required sometimes.
Yes, so VA loans, they can be required. Texas Agriculture will audit you. However, Texas Real Estate Commission never comes to your house talking about home inspections is what you do. But the
Texas Department of Agriculture will come to your house.
They'll come to your house.
They will look over all your reports and see what kind of situation you got there. If you have any pesticides stored, are they being stored correctly? Is your vehicle in compliance? So yeah, they're very thorough, and they will come out to you once a year to do a routine inspection.
Main reason being because you have the applicator's license gives you the ability to look for it and confidently say yes or no. But being that it's an applicator's license means you can apply the chemical which deters the termites, and that is a subterranean, meaning you inject this chemical into the ground.
Yes.
If you're injecting a chemical into the ground, there is a chance it can make it into the water systems, and you have to be educated on where, how, when, and the harmfulness of the chemicals that you're using, and which is why they are pretty stringent, and they will come to your house, and they just want to have a sit down with you and make sure that you're not just injecting it into...
Check your records and make sure they match up, make sure you're calculating the right amount of pesticide and you're not overdoing it. You know, when you're applying pesticides, you want to be conservative about it. You don't want to do too much.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's good oversight. Protects the community and make sure that all the licensed commercial applicators are doing what they're supposed to.
Yes. So I wrote down a couple more questions here. WDI, wood destroying insect, is what it stands for. There's a whole lot of different things that can destroy wood, but in North Texas where we're at, it's mainly termites.
Yeah, we have a heavy termite population in North Texas, and a lot of the South as well. But there's also carpenter ants. They're pretty prevalent out here. Occasionally we'll see carpenter bees, varieties of beetles, old house-born beetles, powder post beetles.
So when you guys say termite inspection, you're getting all of that in the wood-destroying insect inspection?
Yeah, we're looking for any wood-destroying insects. So if we do see some other types of pests that aren't wood-destroying, we'll note that, and that usually recommend a general pest control company take care of that.
Got it. And then how bad can it get? People say, oh, there's a couple of bugs in my house. What's the big deal?
Well,
is the house going to fall down? Is it just going to crumble?
It would take a while for them to bring a whole house down, but they can definitely do a lot of damage. And it can be very
corners
costly.
drop.
Yeah, if they get to areas that are load bearing and they're eating through those members, it can mean bad news for the structure.
That can be harmful to you.
Yeah, it could be harmful to the people. If you
sleeping
don't want
under a load-bearing beam,
so, like I said, it'd have to be a really bad infestation that has gone on for a really long time for the whole house just to come down and crumble. But normal-sized colony can do a lot of damage depending on what area of the home they're in and how accessible it is. is too.
Right.
So
Now, just like a normal home inspection, a home inspection is not 100% guaranteed every single thing will be found. We're all humans. You're not allowed to pull the sheetrock off the wall to go looking behind it, because they're not sheetrock eaters, they're wood eaters, wood destroying insects. So is how close to 100% is it guaranteed? What, I mean, how does that work?
Well, it's not guaranteed that, you know, the presence might be hidden from us, because it's a visual inspection.
Right.
A lot like a home inspection. We're not doing anything invasive. When we're done with an inspection, we want it to seem like we weren't even there, you know. So we do have tricks and certain signs and techniques that we look for to identify if there's a presence.
And it's pretty good. So again, it's audited. You've gone through the training. You've gone through the schooling for it. So there's a lot of indications, a lot of ways for these guys to find what's going on inside of a house. And it's very, very rare that anybody, Adam or anyone that's licensed, would actually miss an infestation, because there are so many signs.
And if it's a infestation and there is any visual signs, then we should be able to catch it. You know, we're looking in all the crevices, we're looking at all the walls.
Keeping in mind, it could be the first or second day that the infestation starts when you do your inspection. You're probably not going to find it on the first day that they're in there, right?
Right. Oh no, it can take actually up to about 3 years for a colony to fully mature. And then when you have a fully mature colony with swarmer, you have reproductives by that point. Sometimes you'll even have more than one queen. Sometimes they'll have a second queen. There's a primary queen, and then they'll have another queen break off, and you'll have, it's like they're building a city.
Okay.
So, but it does, for the first few broods after the swarmers, they're reproductives. Once they pair up and find an area to nest, it takes a few broods before they start their caste system, which involves like the soldiers and the swarmers.
What can a homeowner look for, not having your education and skill set? What can they look for as signs of it?
Well, of course, if you do see swarmers, the bugs flying through your house, that's, you know,
look them up on
number
Google
one.
and compare what you found.
Yeah, I would look it up and see, because sometimes it could be ants, and so that's the number one sign. If you're having swarmers in there, you know you have termites, and you probably, you know, you have a pretty established colony too. Other things are just dirt, mud in places that there is not supposed to be dirt or mud.
I had a house when we were a kid. We were roughhousing, and we ran into the kitchen island, and it was sheetrock with trim on the bottom. And when we hit it, all huge thing of dirt came underneath the trim on the bottom, and there was all this shavings of wood.
Fraz, yeah.
And the mud came down too. And of course, we're going, what the heck is that? And we'll talk about it later, how they get into a house, but the kitchen island, those holes in the ground for the water to come up, and that's how they came up. So my sister and I found...
Discovered,
yes,
hey. I bet took you for ice cream after that.
Not quite.
Oh, good.
But that is, if you see that underneath trim boards, if you see the little shavings, you shouldn't have shavings of wood in your house. That's not normal home
Well, and they
activity.
bring the dirt in there because they have to maintain their moisture, and they use the shelter, mud as shelter and protection. So they bring it in there when they're harvesting, when they're eating this wood. So you'll know it's termites a lot of times if you're seeing damage and you see mud up there against the wood.
Okay. So you made it to the end, 10 minutes of Adam and I talking about Texas Real Estate Commission, Texas Agriculture Commission, and just talking about how it all works. If you have questions, put them down below. If you want to see us actually go through the process of doing a full termite inspection on a house, it is in, I'll link it in the description as well, but if you just click the videos tab on our YouTube page, you'll see a whole bunch of videos, and these two will be right next to each other, so you can't miss it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment. If you want us to cover anything in the future about a house, generally speaking, put it down there and I'll make a video about it. Thank you.